What is going on, guys, and welcome back to another Pokemon Wi-Fi Battles. Today I have another underused match. This one is against MrDOitBIG. I'm using a couple Pokemon that I haven't really used in a long time. I brought back Salamence the Flygon. I got Sheer Force for Alligator. Definitely working with a couple interesting things. Also, I wanted to apologize because I haven't been uploading as much as I'd like to. It's pretty much because school has been getting really stressful. It's finals week and all that stuff, so I haven't had as much time as I've wanted to put into YouTube. But yeah, so let's just go ahead and hop into this battle. Also, another thing, I haven't really been feeling that well, so I apologize if you can hear it in my voice, but yeah, so I decided to lead off with Optimus motherfucking Prime, get the Autobot out there, as he's gonna lead off with his Darmanitan, and honestly, that's completely fine. That allows me to get a free Mega Evolution. I know he's probably just gonna want to U-turn out of here, so I can get up my Stealth Rocks and all that fun stuff, so I turn into a, actually, I guess transform would probably be, you know, the better term. So I transform into a beastly-ass Aggron, and he's just going to go ahead and U-turn out of here, as I expected, and he's going to get a better matchup here, as I'm just going to go ahead and throw some Stealth Rock out there, as he actually decides to go into his Donphan. I'm expecting him to maybe want to Rapid Spin this away, but I don't really want to take an Earthquake or anything, so I kind of want to save Aggron for later, so I'm going to actually switch out into my Jellicent. It seems like the best play because if he does go for Rapid Spin, I'll be able to block it with a Ghost type, but he just ends up going for the Earthquake. Luckily, he didn't predict the switch and go for Knockoff. That could have been pretty bad, but Earthquake actually still does about half anyway, but he probably doesn't want to leave his Donphan in here to take a Scald to the face anyway, so he's going to get his Elephant out of here. And he is going to switch into his Muck, so it's probably his best fitting Pokemon to take a special attack. But unfortunately for him, I go for the Hot Water, and that shit is so damn hot. Mr. Pringle's face does not play games around here, and that is actually going to get a burn. So that's actually really lucky for me. Jellicent does not really like taking physical attacks, but now I don't really have to worry about that since its his attack is halved. So that is pretty cool. Muck's over there being all weird and slimy and stuff, and honestly I was kind of surprised to see that he brought Muck to an underused match. You don't really see that a whole lot. I mean, it can be viable, but it's definitely has its place in NU. So I take this opportunity to switch into Flappy here as he actually goes for the Gunk Shot and misses. Really would not have done a whole lot to me anyway, so it doesn't matter, but I take this opportunity to actually just start setting up nasty plots. I know that he can't hurt me even if he does have Ice Punch. It's not going to be able to do a whole lot because he's burned, so I go ahead and think some nasty thoughts, and somehow that makes my special attack better, so that's pretty cool. And Ice Punch does connect, but as you can see, it literally does nothing to Crobat, so that is pretty damn awesome, as Muck's over here still getting hurt by his burn, and fun stuff. So I decide now to just go for an Air Slash, but of course Muck just does not feel like dying today, and so he survives that. He's able to hit me with one more Ice Punch, and this was critical because check it out, Crobat Popsicle. So that is pretty damn annoying, but I guess freezes happen. So look, I always think it's hilarious when flying Pokemon get frozen because they're literally just like suspended in air, just completely frozen. So the Muck is actually going to die to its burn, so at least, you know, it pays for making me frozen. But now he's going to bring in his Darmanitan, and I was like, you know what, I don't really want to switch. I don't want to save a frozen Crobat, so unfortunately I have to go ahead and just let Crobat die to a Flare Blitz. But you know, at least I probably got like thought out in the process, so you know, that's cool at least. So the one good thing that comes out of this is that at least I get like a free switch into whatever I want. So I decide to bring in my Scarfed Flygon. And I know that his Darmanitan is probably Scarfed as well, but I will be able to outspeed it as he's now going to switch into his Milotic, which is, I'm guessing, his physical defense wall. So I go for the Earthquake, I believe. Yeah, so the Earthquake isn't going to do enough to 2-hit KO the Milotic, obviously, because these things are beastly-ass sea snakes. And I don't really want Flygon to take an Ice Beam because I will be useful later to be able to outspeed that Darmanitan and beat it. So I decide to save Flygon, and I'm going to switch back into my Jellicent, who has no problem at all taking Ice Beams to the Mustache. So the freaking Milotic is going to go for the Ice Beam. Honestly, the only thing I have on this matchup is that I can taunt the Milotic so it can't really recover, and then I can Toxic it and just kind of hope that, you know, whittles it down. So this is going to be a little bit of a stall here. Depending on what kind of Milotic this is, it could be bad. If he does have Toxic of his own, that could be shitty. But he's actually just going to go for a Recover on the first turn as I just go ahead and set the Toxic. So that's really the only thing I have from Milotic on this team. Looking at what I had, I honestly, at the beginning of the match, I was like, this Milotic is going to be a pain in the dick to take care of, just because I don't really have any direct counter to this thing, or really anything to take care of it. So Jellicent is going to have to do the job, and look at us out here with just our bulky ass water types. He actually ends up going for another Ice Beam, which was kind of interesting for me to see. I don't really know why he did that. He could have gone for literally anything else. I don't have the water absorb. I am cursed body, as you see there. I go for the taunt just so he can't toxic me if that's what he wants to do or recover anymore. So Jellicent is looking like I have this matchup pretty much tied down. It is a pretty annoying one because it's just basically relying on toxic to kind of, you know, do its magic, but honestly, he can't really touch me, and it doesn't really seem like he wants to switch out into anything else. He goes for the Scald, I'm guessing probably just to get the burn, but honestly, Pringles is really not that worried because I have recover of my own, so if I need to, I can just get all my health back and stuff, and he's poisoned, so, you know, it's looking like Pringles is the real winner here. So, since I'm such a super awesome, nice guy, I decided to speed this up quite a bit, just because bulky water types fighting against each other is probably not the most interesting thing ever. So he's just scalding, I went for the recover, get all my health back. He realizes that the toxic is taking its toll and he goes and switches out into his Sceptile. So now this is kind of interesting. On the same exact turn, I actually end up switching into Alakazam, and I kind of just did that because I was sick and tired of the toxic stall and all that stuff. So 2 Spoons comes out here, and that's actually a good matchup against the Sceptile because he wouldn't be able to one-hit KO me because of the Focus Sash, and I would have been able to finish him off. But he's actually going to switch back into the Milotic, takes the Stealth Rock, and I'm guessing he does this just for Death Fodder so that he'll have a free revenge switch into whatever the hell he wants. So the Psychic is going to take out the Milotic, see you later you weird mermaid thing, and now he's going to bring in his Darmanitan. And honestly, this is fine for me. This Alakazam is really just like a security. He has the Focus Sash, so I know I'll be able to take anything from this Darmanitan and then be able to go for a Psychic and kill it in return. But I still do have a perfectly good Optimus here, so I decided to switch into this thing as he actually goes for the U-turn. And that was actually a good play because if that did land on Alakazam, it would have knocked me to my Sash, and then he would have been able to bring in Scarf Darmanitan later to be able to finish me off. So he's now going to bring in his Donphan, and this isn't really the worst matchup for me considering I do have Iron Head, which does a good chunk of damage to this thing. So I'm like, you know what, screw it, I'm just going to stay in here and just going to go for the Iron Head, see how much it does. It does, you know, a little bit of damage to that thing. I actually end up getting the flinch the first turn, and I was like, okay, that's actually like the first time I've gotten a flinch on this Aggron. So hey, good job Optimus, you're the real MVP. So here on this turn, I actually expect him to go for the Rapid Spin. Considering he does have that Darmanitan in the back of his team, it does not have a whole lot of HP left, and it probably does not want to take more Stealth Rock when it switches in. So he actually does go for the Rapid Spin, so my prediction pays off there, and I get the matchup that I really want against this Donphan anyway, because Scald does a whole buttload to this thing. So he does not want to let his Donphan die just yet, as he's going to switch into his Sceptile here, as I just go for a Scald, I believe. So this thing is not Mega yet, just looking like a pretty regular-ass Sceptile, as Scald is going to do a decent amount of damage, and I don't get the burn, but, you know, it's all good, as I don't really want Pringles to take an Energy Ball or whatever this thing wants to throw at me, so I decide to switch into Optimus here, as honestly I was kind of just willing to let this thing die, because at this point in the match it's really not that useful. I feel like with Scarf Flygon in the back of the team, I kind of have this sewed up. So he's going to go for an Energy Ball, turns into his, you know, weird Christmas tree Mega Evolution thing, points his tail at me. I never understood why does Sceptile like turn around. Does he use his tail as like a fucking poker? I don't know. But he hits me with a Focus Blast, and that is actually going to take out Aggron, which is unfortunate. Focus Blast didn't miss for him there, but you know, he deserved it. So this allows me to get a free switch into Scarf Flygon, so I'm actually just going to go for an Outrage, as I know he's going to switch into the Donphan, but after running damage calcs, I find out that Outrage is still a 2-hit KO on this thing, so the first one is going to actually knock it down to a pretty close range. And I know that Donphans generally are going to carry Ice Shard, but I know I can take at least one of them, so I'm really not that worried. But as you'll see here, he actually doesn't go for the Ice Shard. Maybe his Donphan did not carry it. Overall, it probably didn't really matter though, considering I would have been able to take at least like one of them anyway. So the Donphan goes down, and unfortunately I get confused. So the stupid duckies come above my head, and I really do not want to risk it here. I could have stayed in, clicked Outrage again, and just hoped that I didn't hurt myself in confusion, but I decided to actually just switch into Jellicent here pretty much to die, so that way I can get a free switch back into Flygon. So the Dragon Pulse is going to do a decent amount of damage, but he does have Energy Ball, obviously, which is going to be able to take out Jellicent. So Jelly, you did a fantastic job this match, though. This was actually the first time I brought this guy, so you know, you did good. You did good. So the Sceptile throws its balls at me, but it's really not that big of a deal. I do actually end up getting the Curse Body, which is kind of funny. He's not able to use Energy Ball again, but doesn't really matter considering I have this majestic ass, awesome looking shiny Flygon. As I come out here, Outrage is going to take out the Sceptile, obviously, and his last two Pokemon are Alakazam and Darmanitan. So I know that his Alakazam is probably going to be Focus Sash just like mine because they're like the best damn revenge killer ever, but I'm locked into Outrage obviously, so I just let it go for it, and yeah, so that is going to knock him down to his Focus Sash. It turns out that he actually does have Hidden Power Ice, which is annoying as I get confused, and I'm like, oh shit. So I actually thought that I was going to lose the match at this point because I wasn't really sure what my Feraligatr was running. I was like, please be the one that has Aqua Jet. Please be the one that has Aqua Jet. So I was looking at the moveset. Turns out that it actually is my Gator that does run Aqua Jet, which is really lucky for me. Sometimes running a Sheer Force Gator with Aqua Jet definitely comes in handy. It's always useful to have at least one Mon with priority on this team. So this whole match I completely forgot that I had Aqua Jet. Had I known that, I probably would not have been as afraid of the Darmanitan, but Feraligatr comes through in the clutch, and Aqua Jet is going to finish off the last two Pokemon. So that was a pretty interesting match there. Had my Feraligatr not run priority, I probably would have lost there, but yeah, so that is going to be the end of the battle. Thank you all for watching. Hit that like button if you enjoyed the video, and I will see you guys later. I'll try to upload some more Wi-Fi battles soon. Luckily, school is going to be over, so thank God.